Here we are at the EcoSense Gardens. Tomatoes all have their big leaves pruned off. Hopefully we'll get a bunch of them ripening. They're already starting to ripen. Looking really good. Lots of leeks down there and some winter veggies coming. Their little outside composting toilet. We've got more gardens here. Whole bunch of winter veggies there. We got the winter broccoli, collards. The chard is still going to town. In behind we've got the, I'm going to zoom in a bit. Got the beans there, some peas going. Little bench over there. Gardens just keep going on and on here. We've really expanded. This was our potato bed here. Got all the arugula coming up. I love arugula. Jerusalem artichokes. And there's the greenhouse. The earth-sheltered greenhouse with the cob benches built in behind them. Let's go inside. Yeah, oh, nice and warm in here. Beautiful. Squeaky door too. Lots of tomatoes. Actually, we've eaten most of them so far. Hasn't done as well as we thought for pollination inside the greenhouse. We had the windows open, but lots of other people said the same thing this year. And up top is where we got all the peppers. Huge crop of peppers. We've eaten tons of them. We're pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with the peppers. This is an earth-sheltered greenhouse, so it doesn't actually freeze in the winter. It's all made out of recycled glass from a neighbor's house, double-paned aluminum framed windows, and the floor is insulated with a few inches of pumice left over from our house. Step down into it. In behind there you can get a peek at it, but we've got a bunch of rammed earth tires for the foundation, and then on top we have a concrete stem wall. And the shelves are all hanging by cables from some wood embedded in the concrete, so it works. You can stand on those and walk across them. It's really good. And look at that, there's a lemon tree and it's covered in little lemons. Pretty excited about that. So last winter when we just got this thing finished up and locked up, it didn't freeze in the winter. It got down to -10 outside. And we had some water in here in a watering can because we didn't have the water hooked up yet. And it never froze, but everything outside was frozen solid, so it's good to have a greenhouse that doesn't freeze. So it's really a beautiful place. We like to come in here and have tea in the winter. Anyways, there it is. So here we are down in the garden now looking up at the greenhouse. We just came down those little steps there. You can see that little solar panel there. That's actually for the that little composting toilet that you saw. It actually has its own little fan in it, and we use it a lot in the summer, so it's really convenient to have. And got a little wash stand there for washing up all of our veggies. And it just water goes into the buckets, and then we can dump it on our plants. We had a huge crop of broccoli this year, and we're still cutting the little shoots off. Enormous crop of little tomatoes and beans. We keep a lot of beans for winter too. That's really good. And there's the house up there. The solar panels. Quite a nice view through the little grape arbor there. We're getting a really good crop of grapes this year, first ever. And also beside it there you can see an apple tree, which are our first crop of apples, which we're going to be done in a couple of weeks, we hope. There's some beauties there. We'll walk along this way, around what we call the circle garden. This was our outside living area when we lived in the trailers, because we had the 2 trailers down here. Little picnic table, and the most amazing crop of tomatillos we've ever seen. This is the year for tomatillo salsa. Tons of it. And the basil, which has all gone to flower there, but our honeybees love it, and they're still crawling all over it. Yes, we have honeybees too. One of the outside solar dehydrators. And over here, this was the remnants of our squash bed. This one's all done here. We've harvested all the squash. And still lots of kale there. And there's the beehive down there. But we are trying to transition to a top bar hive, which you can see over here. We haven't got them moved in yet because we haven't figured out that piece yet. We're probably going to have to catch a swarm and get them moved in. Learning. Lots to learn yet. So we can see our cucumbers here. Still producing tons of cucumbers, more than we can eat. There's the washstand again. And the circle garden. It's kind of cool how it does that. We use concrete blocks. It has a big carbon footprint, but it'll last our lifetime, and you can reorganize them too if you don't like them the way they are. And as you get older, it's really important to be able to garden with some raised beds so you don't have to bend over quite as much. So we have quite extensive gardens here and at the bottom of their hill. And the new living roof that's going on top of the steel container will also have a living roof on it, which we're going to do some intensive vegetable gardening on it too. Coming up now through the grape arbor. Up to the house. There's Gordonized entrance there. Looks like Boo's leaned on the door. Mom and Dad's deck and Boo's doghouse. That rose bush that gets trimmed 20 times a year. It's unbelievable. Tomatoes growing up beside the door. You just reach out the door and pick the tomatoes. They're starting to be past their prime now. Gordonized 2 chairs that were made from recycled cedar from a neighbor's deck that was taken down. More tomatoes. And then we've got beans growing up the side of the house, part of the passive solar design. It shades out the western sun from the house. Works pretty cool. Good. You can walk under there and pick your beans as you go by. And over here we've got an apricot tree, some raspberries. You can hear a frog croaking. Kohlrabies. It's a big kohlrabi. I love kohlrabi. Getting closer to the frog. Rhubarb. Plum tree. Now the plum tree and these raspberries here and the little wee fig tree over here. There's a fig tree in there even with some baby figs on it. And then we've got right here is a hazelnut. And they're all watered with gray water from the washing machine. Branch drain system. Here is some remnants of some squash. It's done now for the year. And also some remnants of the quinoa, which was absolutely spectacular. It's about 7 feet tall. So I've got it all drying right now, and we're going to have quite a crop. And this is a neat view too of the greenhouse. And the living roof there. And our clothesline, of course. Drying all our clothes outside. And just in the front here, foreground, that's a cold frame. Growing lots of peppers in that now. And when they're done, we're going to grow some lettuce. Last year we were eating lettuce in February, so worked pretty good. And there's our BC Hydro meter. Our solar panels feed into that. For a net meter, we're actually a net supplier to BC Hydro on an annual basis. More of that in another video. Bye!